Hello.
Hello,
Happy Fat
everybody.
Tuesday. Mine's just stream.
It ain't started.
Yeah, it's just spinning.
There it goes.
There we are. Hi, everybody.
What's up,
Technical
everybody?
difficulties. Happy Fat Tuesday. I hope everybody had a good day and had some fun. This is Mystical Themes and Mystical Rider and Frogzilla here for the evening. I want to real quick give some shout outs that we failed to do in the first couple of episodes. I want to thank Motobomb Virginia for helping out, getting things rolling. He's been a big help to us. Salty Badger, um, retired rider John, Ray's Moto Life. Y'all been a really big help in getting us started on this and helping me to feel confident enough to do it. So thank you. Evil Rick, the wonderful moderator out there. Gloria, Jammin, hello. America Uncensored,
And
Rod
who
B.
who got us to who talked us into doing this?
That would have been John.
I was talking about T-Bone.
And T-Bone. And Process is here tonight. Hey.
Yep. Process is here. Good to see you, brother.
And Chasing Ghosts, thank you for coming in. And Quick Shoe, it's great to see everybody. And Roland T-Bone's here. Big shout out to Roland. And I just want to express our thanks for everybody and the support that you've given us. It's been really great. Frog, do you have anything you want to say before we
Uh
get rolling?
yeah, just make sure you go check out T-Bone Riding with T-Bone. He does a lot of he not only does riding videos, but he does cryptid. And from what I understand on his last video, he's going to be doing some ghost stories. I'm not sure when he's going to be doing that, but I believe his show is Monday at 7:30. Correct me if I'm wrong, T-Bone. But I believe that's when his show is. Mondays at 7:30. So please go check out his channel. He does some really cool cryptid videos where he's talked about everything from Bigfoots to oh shoot, brain fart.
Ghosts and cryptids, and he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
And
all
don't
the
forget
cryptid animals.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
And he
and
was part of the rabbit hole when we got started.
retired riders, Unchained Rabbit Hole. I believe he has a show on Sunday afternoons
Sunday evenings and
and
Wednesday evenings.
Wednesday evenings.
And we got
Yes,
the
Monday at 7:30.
unaffiliated on
Okay.
Wednesday nights and Duct Tape Community um, through Ray Gregory, and Sick Bastard and Motobomb Virginia are on pretty much every morning for coffee time and in the evenings and Saturday night, almost every night of the week. But thanks everybody. We do appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate all of y'all showing up. We know we're not the best yet. I'm still trying to get used to talking to this thing.
We both are. But tonight we have a guest who's going to tell us some stories and enlighten us on ghosts and um, some experiences that she's had. So we'd like to introduce you. I'll bring her up on the stage. Hello, Warrior 57 Earth. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Doing good. So the gang's all in the chat room, and we'll
Hello,
be
everybody.
watching to see if y'all have any questions you want to ask her. Feel free, ask a question, and we'll make sure she gets to see it. Um, so this is Candace. She's been a longtime friend of the Frogzilla, and ever since I've met her, probably what now 6 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's been a while.
so you're here to tell us and enlighten us about some ghosts that you've dealt with throughout your lifetime. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you and let you tell your story.
Okay. Well, my name's Candace, and right now I live in Clark County, Indiana. And this kind of what I want to say is like, ever since I've been a little girl, I can go all the way back to when I was 2 years old. And I've always had the ability to see and hear otherworldly things, I guess you want to say. Well, I'm going to jump off of all that into where I was living at in this kind of in the same area. I was still in Clark County, and this has been probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And I was living at this place, and for the first year, nothing really happened or anything. But after the second year, I started seeing like shadow people. Uh, I went through a walk in the woods, which was all beside me where I was living, and I had been taking pictures and stuff. And at the time, I never really seen anything in the picture. And it's where I zoomed in. I caught a little girl. Well, I had those pictures, but I no longer have those pictures. Uh, anyway,
That gets so aggravating for me as well because I had pictures of stuff, and it seems like it never fails that you'll have pictures of things that come through, and you'll put them up or try to save them to, like I've saved mine to hard drives, and then they disappear or they get corrupted. It's almost as if they don't want you to be able to prove what you've seen, so they mess.
exactly.
It's crazy.
Well, it is, and the ones that were messing with me and my family at the time, uh, my daughter and the two grandkids were living with me at the time, and my granddaughter had come out and she said, "Mama," she said, "there's a lady sitting on my dolls and she won't let me play with them." And I knew I'd been seeing shadow people. So I walked back there. And if they don't want you to see them, then you're not going to see them, but you'll know they're there because you can feel them. And if they don't want you to hear them, you're not going to hear them because they have the ability to cloak or do whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked back there and I said, "I want you up out of this bedroom and leave my grandkids alone, period." And I was like, "Well, I'm staying in my ground." And so I asked my granddaughter at the time, I said, "Well, is she gone?" And she said, "Yeah, there's nobody in here." Well, then other times I caught my granddaughter would be playing with her dolls and the closet door was open and I seen her talking to somebody. So I didn't want her to know I was watching. So I kind of hid around the corner and I kept peeping around to see who she was talking to. And so finally I was like, I went in there because I got kind of concerned because she was only like 4 years old having a full conversation with somebody in the closet. And I said, "Lily, who are you talking to?" And she said, I'm talking to that man right there. Well, then I knew something was going on. I knew that my instincts were right because it was like confirmation. Well, I would be in the kitchen, standing at the counter, making dinner or, just fixing a smoothie or something like that. And all of a sudden, this SpongeBob ball would start bouncing. I mean, it came all the way down the hallway, around the corner, and into the kitchen. And I started putting my foot down and I said, you're not welcome here. And I would do my cleansing and all that kind of stuff. And I felt something grab my arm. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And I felt something grab my arm and I got bruising. I mean, like within seconds, bruises all over my arm. Well,
And I think we got pictures of that, don't we?
yeah. I
mean,
sent you some pictures.
Yeah, let me see if it'll let me pull that up for you.
Okay. If not, that's fine too. But I do have quite a few pictures. Then I had pictures of orbs and all that kind of stuff too that came through my window, and they were just floating in my room. And I was like, I just started praying because at that time, it kind of really did scare me and bother me because I was like, what am I dealing with? Because it's not letting me see nothing. Yeah, that's a set of bruises. And then there's other bruising. I also, this has been over a period of, like till I got moved out of there, 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And because the first year and a half, 2 years, it wasn't as bad, but it was like something was picking up. And I said, well, I know it's this land. It's the land that I'm on because I seen like Native American ghost. I seen and just to let y'all know, I call what some people call ghosts, I call spirits. To me, they're spirits. And there's a difference, because a lot of people say, no, it's demons. Well, yeah, there is, but some are spirits, the ones that don't form or can show themselves or anything like that. Yeah, that was other bruising that I got. And toys would come on, the grandkids' toys would come on, and I'd walk over there and pick it up, like, why is that coming on? And one of them was like a little fire engine house, and it had all these things that you could, do with your grandkids, but there was a button on the back of it. It had to be turned on. And I thought, well, maybe that button got stuck. So I went over there to check it, and I picked it up. And I'm telling y'all right now, that button was not even in the on position. It was still in the off position, and there wasn't no batteries in it.
Oh, wow.
There wasn't no batteries in it, and this thing was going off like crazy. And it did it with, like electronic cars, little remote control cars. Well, my grandson had some remote control cars, and those started moving by themselves without anybody being there, first of all. Second of all, there wasn't no remote where they're, next to the car, and it would just go back and forth, or it would come on and start making sounds. And I don't know if I bashed those up and threw them in the garbage or what I did, but I'm telling y'all, I was like, I just had to find another place. And so anyway, I ended up finding another place. And well, I don't know if some might have followed me, but I got rid of them. But I noticed that when I go sit outside sometimes, I would see them like across the road or at the neighbors. They wasn't coming near me or on my property, but they would be over there at their place. And so I just cleansed real good, and I did a lot of prayer. And one night I felt like I was being held down, and I just started, praying in my mind, and the thing got off of me or whatever. And I woke up the next morning, and the back of my neck was on fire. It looked like somebody took something and just made all these little bumps on me, and there was a puncture wound in the back of my neck.
And I think we
So
do have a picture of that one as well. Let me
yeah,
see if I can find it.
there was a puncture wound in the back of my neck, and it was really sore for about a week or so. Uh, the marks will come real fast. They'll come on me real fast. I don't know if you can blow that up or not, but if you can, yeah, look at it real good, y'all, because it looked like a triangle, and it was punctured down into my neck. And I had all these little bumps around it. And I was like, and look, there was nothing in my bed, other than my pillows and my blankets. There was nothing to cause that. I just woke up and my neck was real sore. And I thought, man, I slept the wrong way. How sometimes you sleep the wrong way and your neck will get in a kink or something. And so I had Chris look at my neck, and he's like, what the heck? He said, hold on a minute, I'm getting a flashlight. So he went and got the flashlight, and he, lightened it up. And I said, well, just take pictures. And so he did. And I enlarged it. And he said, when he looked at it with the flashlight, he said, yeah, that's a triangle. I don't know why they was around me as bad or whatever, but I think sometimes I'll just put this out there. Everybody needs to hear this. We all have gifts. Everybody is gifted, but you have to find inside of you what that gift is. But the only way that your gifts truly work is to let go of fear, and not to have like fear and anger and things like that. We have to let go of all the self doubt. You have to let go of self doubt, just doubt.
Right.
And it's about love and compassion and caring and being there.
Yeah,
I
bring
think
the positive energies towards you instead of the negative
yes, yes. And then your gifts, but if you have fear of any kind, they can manifest like sevenfold, because they feed. That's what gives them their energy. You know how like a lot of people, when they go ghost hunting and stuff, their phones will go dead, because I've had mine go dead. Actually, I've went through 7 or 8 phones, and just since 2022, I have went through 7 or 8 phones. Now where I'm at right now, it's going good. It's as far as like, ghost and stuff. I know when I was here last year, so might as well say about 6 months ago, and we were out back grilling out, and there was nobody in here. Everybody was out back grilling out, and I seen a woman's shadow at the bedroom window. And I was like, who's in there? I mean, because they were literally standing there, because the curtains that they have hanging up are sheer. So I seen the whole silhouette. I seen her hair. I seen everything. The only thing I didn't see was her face, because
Now,
the sheer curtain.
when you were saying that you've had experiences pretty much all of your life,
Mm-hmm.
and now that your granddaughter has experienced it as well, was there someone in your family, an elder, who experienced it? Was it like a
My
in the
dad.
family type of thing? Your dad's seen
Yeah,
them as
see,
well?
we're Native American, European, and I guess I was always told Indian, German, Irish, and yes, it stems from my father. And out of 8 kids in my family, there's only 2 of us that are the way we are. Now, some people say psychic. I don't call it that. I call it more intuition and clairvoyant, clairaudio,
Right.
and I'm a very highly in tune empath.
Yeah.
So I pick up on stuff, but I have always known my whole life. I'm 58 years old, and I've known since I was 2,
No,
and my
gracious.
mom and dad. But the thing is, pardon me. The thing is, my dad, when I was a little girl, all the way up until I was even in my 20s, because my dad passed away in 2003 from a car wreck, and he would always take me fishing. We went camping a lot, my whole family. We were just real outdoorsy people. And he used to tell me, we'd be out in the boat fishing, and he'd say, whatever you do, you don't tell nobody what you see, you don't tell nobody what you know when it comes to anything, because they will come and take you away from me. That's what he used to tell me. And he would tell me, just don't talk about it. But in my adult life, I do talk about it because I know that it's real. I know it exists. And if you believe in God and you believe in Jesus Christ, why wouldn't you believe that there's anything else that also exists? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because when people tell me I'm crazy, because I've been, when I started, the only people I've really talked to about a lot of things is my family. Okay. And my family, including my older sister, who is like me, I'm the 3rd from the youngest out of 8. And I have been
That's
told
a
by
big
all my
family.
family, huh?
That's a big family.
Yeah. But I've been told by all of them that are still living. There's 6 of us left. And we're scattered about pretty good. So I don't never see nobody but maybe once a year. But they all tell me when they have the family reunion, don't talk about nothing. Don't tell them nothing. They don't want to know. They're all busy. They have busy lives and they don't want to know about anything I see.
Yeah.
So I started turning to platforms and being able to talk to others. But as time has went on, I'm going to say since about 2017, I felt a big shift. And it feels like time is sped up. Everything is sped up faster. I feel like more and more spirits, ghosts, demons, whatever you want to call them. Because I'm not saying all are evil.
Right.
Because I know there's good things too. But I think it's picked up and there's more here than what people realize. And more people are starting to wake up in a sense.
There's more people
And
talking about it more freely. It seems
yes,
like
yes.
there's a lot of people that for years just hid it or didn't want to know about it, or out of sight, out of mind. They don't want to think about it, don't want to hear about
Yeah.
it. But it
Well,
seems like there's more people coming out with understandings or seeing things happen and seeing the things in the peripheral and realizing that, hey, there may be something there.
Well, I'm here to tell everybody, I don't care if anybody believes me or if they don't. I know that I know. And
Right.
and for me as a person, I used to pray for God to please bring me like-minded people around me that understand, that know these things, that people that are like me that I could talk to. Because it's kind of a lonely place when you have been told all your life not to ever tell, because people would, they would come and take me. And
Yeah.
I felt like that. He didn't so much tell me that once I got, into adulthood, but he told me more when I was a child,
Right.
because he was afraid, because it was a lot different back then. But
I think that's what keeps a lot of people from being able to hone in or understand their gifts, understand, to really get into what their gifts are and increase those gifts, because they're taught at a young age not to share it, not to express it, not to dig into it or dive into it, but to hold it
Right.
at bay and stay away from it. It's bad or whatever.
Well,
So I
see,
think that's a lot of it too.
yes, I could always go to my mom and dad. I can tell my mom and dad anything. And I could really talk to my dad more about it. My mom, she understood completely because she was with my dad, and they had all these kids. So she understood it, although she wasn't that way. But it all comes from my dad's side of the family. And I've got relatives that are still living. They're probably in their late 80s by now. But I had one call me after my dad's funeral. It was either, I think it was my dad, when he passed away. And she called me, and this was an elder. And she's like, and this is somebody that I would have never thought in a million years would have called me, but she did. And she told me that if I ever needed to talk about anything, that she was like me. She said, I'm like you. And I said, you are? I said, well, then do you ever talk to anybody? She said, oh, I talk to just my kids about stuff. And
Yeah.
I said, well, that's how it was for me. I had mom and dad, you know, and,
I didn't have
but
mom and dad. I didn't have there wasn't I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it when I was younger, when I felt things or seen things, and um it didn't happen very often. Um I seen my father when he passed away. He
yeah,
was down in Georgia and we were in Kentucky, and found out that um I might get to see him. I'd only seen him twice in my lifetime. He had left when I was around 2, or they split up. But the night before he died, my mom asked if I wanted to talk to him, and I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." I hadn't talked to him. She normally wouldn't let me call him. She said that if he wanted to talk to me, he'd reach out to me, and he had things going on. But I come home, and we were staying with my great grandfather down in Kentucky, and he had a really long driveway that was like a hill.
yeah,
I was standing up. I got up to the top of the hill, and I was getting ready to go in the house, and I heard something, and I turned around, and there's my dad walking up the driveway. And I was like, "Oh my God," I was 12 years old, and I turned around, I hollered for my mom, and when I turned back around, he was gone. And we got the phone call just shortly after that telling us that he had died. He was
that
in
was your
a
dad.
Yeah, he was in a car accident and broke every bone in his body. He died instantly. But yeah, being able to see him, and people, there's so many different thoughts on it. It's hard to express it and hard to talk about it sometimes because you don't know how somebody's going to take it, or if they're going to believe you or not, I guess.
Well, I tell you what, I was in nursing for 39 years, and I worked over in Louisville at some of them hospitals, and then I worked also at nursing homes and stuff. And let me tell you, I have watched things walk through walls. One time I was at the end of a hall, and there was one of the old men got out of bed. So I had thought, and he was wandering the hall, and this was on night shift. And so on night shift, you have a skeleton crew. So I kind of had like a whole hallway and a half of another. And I hollered down there, "Hey, I'll be down there. I'm on my way." And he was still there. I seen him, and I was talking to him as I was cutting across to go to his side of the hall. He
Oh, well.
stood there. He stood there and he looked at me. And then he turned and walked right, what I thought he walked through the door. I said, oh, he's going back to his room. So I was trying to hurry as fast as I could. And these were long hallways.
Yeah.
And so anyway, when I got down there to where he went, there wasn't a door. There was a picture hanging there. There wasn't even, it was going towards the end of the other hall. And you know how you'll have your last room and then you'll have a real long wall before then it's just comes back around. And there wasn't nothing there. It was a wall. And it just gave me chills all over. And I was like, oh man. So then I had to go in each room and make sure everybody was breathing, like go check on everybody. Cause I was like, why did I see that? Oh my gosh. But yeah.
My mom worked in nursing homes and most of her life, and she would see things and hear things every now and then about stuff that it would happen. But
let me tell y'all this.
Open to a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't. Scares them.
Yeah.
But let me tell y'all this. I worked at a place, if you look it up, it was the old World War I hospital in New Albany, Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it was a nursing home. And I ain't going to say the name, but you can figure it out fast. And now it's apartments.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. I was not even able to take the elevator. I could not take the elevator because it would stop mid-floor on me. I always had to take the stairs. I couldn't even go into the kitchen area where the time clock was and clock in. I had to be penciled in because I just couldn't do it. I just could not go to that area. Once I got upstairs, this place, let me tell you, it was so active, and it is actually apartments now. I cannot believe it. I can't believe people actually live there. Anyway, because it was hot and heavy, and I can tell you, it was related to the Catholics, and there was a lot of stuff up on the third floor.
Now,
anyway, yeah.
Have you noticed that there's that you see the same spirits, or is it different ones, or do you think you may have an attachment, or
No,
are
I
you
don't have
seeing
any
different
attachments.
things? Like we have several that come through, like they're looking for something or somebody, and then they move on and go on about their business. So we don't see a lot of the same people. There are some that we have, but do you have a bunch of different ones that you deal with?
Yes.
Or dealing with
Yes.
the ones?
No, different. All different. None are the same.
Have you been able to figure out if there's something that's keeping them there, or that they're where they need something or need help to cross? Have you been able to help any, or are you just having the experience of being there?
No, I have helped people to cross over because they didn't realize where they was, okay, or being held, so to speak. The one time, this area that I was in, and I don't mind saying it, I was in an area in Greenville, Indiana, and let me tell you all something. This place I went to, I bet I released hundreds of spirits there. Okay, let me tell y'all this.
That spot was a bad spot.
When you go into the woods, and everybody, oh, look at the grapevine, look at this vine going up a tree. Those are veins. And they're negative energy veins. And what they're doing is killing that tree to take the oxygen, because trees help produce our oxygen.
Right.
So, when I cut a bunch of them off of trees, these gray spirits were everywhere. They were very upset with me at the time because, but yet, then again, they didn't realize.
You're trying to help them.
Well, they're just mischievous. They have a go. They've been sent there for one purpose and one purpose only, you know, and it was to kill the tree to release the oxygen, you know, from, you know, just earth really. There's a lot of this spiritual stuff that's going on and people don't realize, hey, people don't realize. I mean, I know a lot of people do realize, more and more people do realize. But my daughter, my son, and my grandkids, they're very gifted and always have been. You know what I mean?
Right.
As
Yeah.
far as like seeing, you know, knowing and seeing and stuff. And I think more and more children that are being born and brought into the world are going to really play a role as far as, you know, spiritually gifted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to go to the grocery store. If I don't put on my blocking cap, see, I have to be able to block it
Yeah.
because I see stuff all the time and I have to block it out. But I don't know what happened in 2017, but from 2017 until 2023, I was constantly battling, and I mean for my life. That's what it felt like.
Right.
Like I was running and trying to save my life, and it picked up really bad. And like I'm gonna say from 2017 to 2019, it was kind of like but then after that, up until 2023, I was in a really something. There was a shift. I don't know if any of you all out there felt it, but in 2017 and about 2020, I felt a shift. Like I actually had to hold on to a door jamb because I felt like a shift, like my body went like that. You know, it just kind of went like that. And I was like, oh my God, did you all feel that? There was other people that felt it too. So that just gave me confirmation that it wasn't me, you know, getting dizzy or something.
Right.
But the past couple years has been way better for me. And I am so thankful because I'm going to tell y'all what, I was working overtimes in the spiritual world, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes you have to step away and give yourself space to try to breathe again and
yeah,
to get yourself centered and cleansed and back to a positive
yeah.
process.
Well,
Otherwise,
I think
you can attract the negative energies towards you.
I would like to know for your audience out there, do you feel like things picked up? Because there's a lot of witchcraft going on in the
I
world.
haven't felt
Like
a pickup
world.
for it. Or I haven't felt anything to that degree, but you know, we're pretty much just here.
Yeah.
Occasionally we do have more things coming through, and but it wasn't there's a shift with the way people respond. There's a shift with the way
Yeah.
people are actually being out there. You
Yeah.
know, before you didn't hear, people didn't talk about the other religions. Now they do. They didn't talk about the spells and witchcrafts and things, but they do now. And you know, a lot of people still look at witches as being bad or evil, and they're not. There's a lot of good witches. There's a lot of good
Okay.
positive.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because like I
And
understand.
Wannabe, did you see the
But what I
comments?
mean,
Are
well,
you
what
able
I
to see
mean,
the comments?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you able to see the comments?
No.
Wannabe Farmstead just says, yes, I felt a huge shift. I can't recall if it was 2017 or earlier, but I've been feeling it for quite some time.
Yeah.
So she agrees that there was a shift then.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt it big time. But, and what I mean when I say witchcraft, I mean, okay, here's the thing. It's not about being a witch or not being a witch, or a warlock or not being a warlock, okay? It has nothing to do with that. What I mean when I say that is there are anything that is spoken with your mouth, and it's a negative thing, and it's going against our earth, and it's going against Mother Earth, it's going against even humans, everybody. It's the casting the spells with those words. Anything, because it even says that it's witchcraft.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean a person. It don't mean that a witch, saying you're a witch or whatever, a good witch or a bad witch or whatever, that's just you saying that. Anybody can really do the witchcraft. It doesn't make them one thing or another. It means that they're speaking it, you know, and they're
Right.
doing
Yes.
stuff to enhance it, move it along. But whether it's good or bad, but I'm saying there's so many bad people coming against what is good,
Yeah.
you know, and I felt
Absolutely.
it.
Jess is
Yes.
saying that we're in a spiritual warfare for sure.
Yes. Yes, we are. And I think sometimes when we get messed with and stuff like that spiritually, I had to learn not to have fear about things, because I know I was freaking out and I was panicking and everything, but it's not that I was having really the fear of the ghost or whatever spirit.
Mhm.
It was that they were coming at me full force.
Well, Frog brought up something too, and was asking the people in the chat if they had heard about the news on the Pope. Frog, do you want to talk about that a minute? You watched it and was able to see what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Apparently the other night before last, the Pope was screaming that there was a porthole to hell at the end of his bed, and the demons were trying to pull him through it. And this went on most of the night, and they ended up having to sedate him, which
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that he's done a lot of satanistic things, this Pope has. I mean, he was liking girls that has OnlyFans, and he was liking their stuff, and some of the stuff that he said was very satanic. It wasn't Christian at all.
Yeah.
And you know, he's supposed to be the last pope, and
Yeah.
they literally said that he said that there was a porthole to hell at the end of his bed, and the demons were trying to drag him through it, and he was
Well, because
screaming bloody murder.
yeah,
Go
you're
ahead.
correct. I've seen that.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll tell Lolly
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut her off a while ago.
I'm
But
still
that's
here.
sometimes,
fine.
I just have my
well,
cam off for a second.
okay. Well, sometimes when I didn't mean to interrupt or cut you off. I love you with all my heart, but it's like my brain is like it just my thought it pops in, and I have to hurry up and say it, because if I don't, I'll forget it. It's
I
like
do
it
the
just
same
leaves
thing.
me. It
It's all
leaves
right.
you.
It's all right.
Well, see, I like to keep journals, and I like to write stuff down, because then I go back over them, and I've
I
always
need to
done that.
start doing that again. I
Well,
used
see,
to,
Yeah.
I
but
do
I haven't
it.
for a while.
I do it because if anything happens to me, then at least my grandkids have something to read to know that what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. I do it so that I leave something behind. You know,
That's our YouTube channels.
it's not about materialism. You know what I mean? It's not
Oh,
about
yeah, definitely.
materialism.
Definitely.
It's about, if you're going to leave something behind, leave journals. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is everything. It brings us into wisdom. We may not understand it all the time, but eventually it comes to us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts or stories they want to share too, or anything in the chat?
Yeah.
What about you, Jessica? You seem to have some feelings. Do you get feelings when there's spirits around? When something
You have
negative
gifts?
is around?
I call them gifts. I know others can call them curses. They
I
don't want
think
to have
No.
it, but I think it's a
Yeah.
gift.
My dad always said it was a gift from God. He said, just know that you're gifted. He never made it a bad thing. He just didn't want me to talk about it when I was a kid. He didn't want me going up to people and say, hey,
Yeah.
you know.
exactly. That's
He wanted,
that's the same thing my mother said. She's like, you need to keep that between us, because if you tell other
yes.
people, they're gonna say you're crazy.
Yeah, my
You
dad
know.
said, they're going to take you away from me. I said, why? He said, because I want to, like, I guess brainwash you. I don't know. He was
Yeah.
he was really afraid for me to say anything. And I just never did.
Back
I always
in our
listened to
day,
him.
back in our day, it wasn't accepted. It wasn't
Yeah.
a good
Exactly.
thing, and
Yeah.
No.
you would be put into camps and Bible
Yeah.
studies, and make sure you got
Fatal.
what you're supposed to have.
Insane
Well, here's the
asylum.
wild thing. I was raised in church. I was raised Pentecostal. Okay. And no, not the kind with snakes or nothing either. Ask me that. Non denominational. But I was going to this wood place, church, whatever, here in this town where I'm at. And I'm going to tell y'all something. No. It's hard for me to talk about it.
Jess says she's an empath.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Yep.
I relate to. Jess
Yeah.
is an empath.
I'm very highly in tune, too. Let me tell you. It's
I
like
wasn't taught
having
how to
hot
control
classes.
it. I
Yeah.
wasn't taught how to keep control of it. So a lot of times it's hard for me to realize that that's what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I can turn it off, like not really turn it off, so to speak, but kind of block a lot of stuff. I have to because, it just came to me naturally when I was a kid,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because
I
if
just
I
tell them
didn't
to leave me
learn
alone.
it, yeah. Yeah.
When it gets
You have
bad,
to
it's like, all right, we're done. You need to go
listen.
away and leave me be.
Some things can hurt you for real. If not,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't get bruises. I wouldn't get puncture wounds. I wouldn't get hurt sometimes the way I do. Like I've been pushed down, knocked down, and there wasn't a freaking soul around. I was by myself. Next thing I know, I'm getting pushed down and stuff. And you know, you have to stand your ground, tell them to stop. But some are very, very bad and can really hurt you. And you just have to know that you got to get away from that situation.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Well, that's the
Because
thing
some
with
of them are pretty
what we
bad.
had. That's what, when we had the issue that we did, it was making sure that everything was cleansed. And I was telling Frog, it's like the negativity has to go away. We have to not allow it here. Period.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
negative.
Yep.
We have to think
And it's,
positive. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's picking back up here lately. Just the other
Yeah.
day, I fell for no reason, and I was like, "Why the hell did I just fall?" I mean, I fell backwards. I didn't just fall backwards. I fell backwards into the side, like somebody shoved me, and I landed here in the hall. About took out the mirror for no
Well,
reason.
we've had a lot of negative things going on and a lot of negative thoughts around, and it's hard to you can't stay positive 24/7 all the time, especially when you have things that you have to deal with that are negative. But
Well, I'll
it's
tell y'all
also
what
being
go
able
ahead.
to
I'm
know
sorry.
that it's also being able to know that that is part of the issue, because when you have those negative energies that get so thick, you have to get out of it or get away from it and bring that positive energies back to you. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you attract the negative, you attract the bad energies, and you
Uh-huh.
attract
Yep.
the negative spirits. You have to try to, in every situation, no matter how bad, there is a silver lining. We don't see it all the time. We don't see it immediately, and it's really hard to find. But if you make yourself find it and bring out that positive part of it, then it helps to attract the positive energies to make things better.
Yep.
At least that's been my experience.
That's not always easy to do,
No, it's not.
especially when you're having to deal with so much crap. And
Yeah. I understand. I relate. I mean, you're right. You're right. And I don't know, like, so, and some places are not as bad as other places. Like where I'm at right now, it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
I could go 5 miles down the road and it will be swarming, and I can't go there. I just can't. I can't do it. I have to turn around. I have to be like, nope, 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 not me.
Jess
Y'all can
says,
have that.
I never really seen things. I think because of fear, I block out the visuals, but I absolutely feel. And then she says, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. with fear. I think something is trying to warn me of what is to come, but because of it being the unfamiliar and unknown, if it's good or evil, I automatically shut it out. And that's one of the things I find too that you have to be careful about, because even though it's unfamiliar, sometimes you still have to open yourself to be able to control it and figure out what it is, or what it's
yeah,
trying to tell you.
They're sending a message. That's
Right.
when you have a dream.
You have to be open to the message.
Yeah, and write it down. Don't see that's showing fear about it. Like, ooh, I don't know. I don't want to know what they're saying. Yes, you do. Because it may be something that you're supposed to tell everybody. But like when I get a message, when something like that happens to me, I keep it to myself and I pray about it. And I say, am I supposed to show or tell somebody? Can I get a sign? I need to know. I just pray about it and stuff. And then to share that and write it down.
Or when you wake up, write it down. As soon as you wake up, keep a notebook by your bed.
Yes.
And try to write down everything you can remember. She says, yeah, that's why I'm trying to not block it out, because I feel it is calling on me, trying to tell me something. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you wake up, keep that notebook next to the bed and just write down what you can remember. And the more you do that, the easier it'll be to recall it and remember what it is that it's trying to tell you.
Yeah, like I don't have to write nothing down. I know it. I can sit here and tell you about stuff just from this morning on, like when I wake up, or sometimes I can't even go to sleep. I get insomnia real bad,
Yeah.
like I'll be so tired and I know I have to just go to sleep. And then when I lay down, it's like I'm wide awake.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I feel wide awake,
Yeah.
so, but you need to write them down. And once you get used to writing them down and keep them as a journal or whatever, because you may have to go back on that until you have understanding. You have to ask God for understanding, to give you
Yep.
understanding about the things you know not of, and to then give you the knowledge and the wisdom to know and see these things, so that
Yep.
you may, protect yourself and others possibly.
Even
Well,
if
we're down.
you don't know what's going on, just write down if you feel fearful, or sorry, if you feel fearful or you feel positive. Do you feel
Well, instead of writing
anxious,
fear,
anxiety, or anything
yeah,
like that? Just anything you
Yeah.
feel right off the bat,
mm-hmm,
and you will figure out if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
yeah. And if you don't really know the feeling that you're feeling, like what he's talking about, I call it too, because what you said is a really good point. And I'll do pros and cons. Like what's this feeling, and go look it up, see what it means. Because we've been lied to all of our lives about history. You know,
Yeah.
it's about
History, religion, everything.
everything, and it's called the dumbing down. You
Yep.
know, and not to switch the subject, but what you were saying about the Pope, I also
Yeah.
read where he had two upper acute respiratory illnesses. They gave him a shot, and then they have him on oxygen. And how
Hmm.
you said he's seen the portal open up at the end of his bed. I
Yeah.
also heard that he said, "Get them off of me, get them off of me. Make these
Hmm.
bastards go away." Not that
Yep.
that's a laughing
Yep.
matter, but yeah, and you are right. He was a very evil person.
Yep.
Okay. And he opened up doorways that he should have
Yep.
never messed with, and they were coming for him. That's what they're doing.
Well,
Because you can't.
Candace, we got about 2 more minutes. I want to say thank you for being here.
Well, thanks for
Thank you for
having me.
sharing your stories. Jessica,
Yep.
definitely thank you for participating and sharing some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
It's been
greatly
a really
appreciate that.
interesting evening. And Candace, we'll have you back on sometime. And I just want to say thank
Okay.
you before we head
Well,
out.
thanks for having me.
Thanks for the support and from everybody. Make sure
Yep.
that you tune in to Duct Tape Community, to the Unchained Rabbit Hole on Wednesday,
Salty
Duct Tape
Badgers
Community
lives
Saturday.
at 5.
Yep, Salty's lives at 5, and
When's that?
every
When's
day,
Salty?
every day. Salty Badgers live
Just about
is
every day.
live at 5. It's Central Time, so it would be Eastern. It would be 6 o'clock our time.
Yeah. It's 6
Oh,
o'clock
6
our
our
time.
time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Moto Mom says, "Great story. Thank you." Jess says, "Thank you. Happy to have been able to catch you live." Hey, Angel Face, glad you made it.
Sorry, I missed your comments
But
there.
thanks everybody for stopping in and joining us tonight. And hopefully we'll get to see everybody next week.
Thanks for having me. Love ya.
Thank you, Candace,
Yeah.
for being here. Love
Love
you.
you too. I'd like to thank everybody for being here, and please hit the like button. Are you hitting buttons?
I'm
Come
not
on, we
hitting
can't both be
anything.
hitting.
I'm
All
not
right.
hitting nothing.
Give me a second to get through these comments before you cut it off. And make sure if y'all like cryptid stories, go check out T-Bone on Mondays at 7:30. Motobomb. I like when Motobomb does tattoos. Every now and again, you'll get to see him do some great tattoo art.
In Ray's Moto Life.
Yeah, Ray's Moto Life. He's got a lot of good political and everything on his channel. He's not scared to talk about anything, so that's a really good show.
But thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all. Love you. Peace out.
Later, y'all.